All right, hey everyone, welcome to the session. And in this session, we will be going to end all the theoretical aspects in regards to all the cases we have so far. We have covered the guesstimates, we have covered market entry cases and profitability cases. And today we will be covering the pricing cases and how do we actually conclude a case, and most importantly, in case you're stuck at a point in a case problem or while solving a case, then how do you actually fix get out of that problem. So we'll be trying to fix all be covering all those aspects in today's session. So without wasting any more time, we can get started. Yes, thank you for joining. Okay, now in these cases, what you're supposed to do, you will be given a case where you're supposed to price a product or service. Now, there are two types of cases. Number one, you can be given a case where there is a new product and it is entering into the market, and you have to identify and calculate what is the price at which this product should be sold. There can be second cases, which is the standalone cases. In standalone cases, you're not given any product, but let's say if there are cases where you have been given, like you have been charged XYZ, and what should be the correct price that you should be charged. Or similarly, there can be cases where you are being given that the price of the specific commodity or the product is this, and what should be the ideal case. So you need to work accordingly in the different types of cases. So when you do the market entry cases, so one of the things that can be asked is the what is the price at which it should be sold. Now there are three models of pricing models. The very first is the cost based pricing model. Secondly, we have the competitor pricing, and thirdly, we have the value based pricing. Now in cost based pricing, what we do, we try to find out what is the cost which has been incurred in the production of that in the production in the distribution of the product. Now in this we actually add all the fixed cost, all the variable costs, and then we get a cost price. And then we try to figure out what is the break even. I mean, break even is the point at which there is no profit, no loss. Okay. And from this break even, we try to add the margin that we wanted to have on our product. Let's say 20% margin. So whatsoever the cost which has been incurred in order to produce that specific product, we add a margin of 20%, and then we price the product or the service. For example, for example, let's say the cost of production, the entire cost of goods sold, including the entire supply chain, the cost of goods sold is uh, 100. Then what is the price at which the company should sell the product? And in this case, what we will be taking into the consideration, we'll be taking the what is the margin that the company wants to have on the specific product. So in this case, we can ask the interviewer what is the margin that they are expecting, or similarly, what is the margin that they wanted to have. Now let's say 20%, 30%. So based upon that, you will add that 20%, and then you will let the interviewer know that the price should be 120 or 130 as the case may be. So this is the uh, cost-based pricing. There is one more important thing, which is the R&D expense, whether the company plans to recover it or whether it is a sunk cost. So what is the sunk cost? So I guess you'll be learning this in your cost accounting. So cost in cost accounting. Now, sunk cost is a cost which cannot be recovered regardless of future decisions. Now, let's say there are some expenditure which has been incurred in the development of the product. Now, in this case, it depends upon the company whether they want to recover it or not. If in case they want to, they'll add to the uh, uh, the cost component, and if they don't want to, then it will be considered as a sunk cost. And this is how we try to figure out what is the price of the product, what should be the price of the product based on the cost based pricing. Okay. Secondly, we have the competitor based pricing. So in this case, what we do, we price our product based on the competitors. Now there can be these scenarios. For example, okay, what is the availability of the substitute? So we try to take a look at the substitute, how much substitutes are available in the market. If we have a higher degree of substitute in the industry in which we are operating, then the price would be on a lower end, and vice versa. And then we have the competitor price point. Now in this case, what we do, we try to benchmark our pricing with the competitors. So I can explain this with an example. Let's say, so what? Let's make a table to explain this. Let's say, there are four parameters on which, three parameters on which we'll be comparing with our competitors. Let's say we have the we it's company A, it's company B, and it's company C, and we are working on the pricing model for company B. Now let's say the B company is they are into the FMCG space. Now let's say the three factors which can be taken into consideration while uh, doing the competitive analysis could be, the number one could be what is the uh, weight, or how much do we get in a packet. The second could be, let's say, second could be what is the health benefit, and the third parameter could be, let's say, uh, 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 let's say the weight, the health. What could be the other parameter? Can any one of you let me know in the comment section? Hello, chat. Also discussed. Okay, can any of you let me know about one more parameter? And let's say the FMCG, specifically biscuits. Let's considering that we can benchmark or parameter on which we can compare it with the competitors. Weight, health, and uh, can any of you let me know about one parameter? Price, I mean, we are trying to find out the price, but considering the user point of view, what would be the different aspects considering the peripheral component, or let's, okay, packaging would be one. Packaging, let's say we are comparing this with three parameters. Now what we will be doing, we will be comparing these three on these parameters in terms of the what we get in the base. So A get better than us, and all these factors, our product is better and than us, these. While comparing this with the C, what we find out that C is better on these three parameters. Now, while pricing this end product, what we will be doing, now let's say it is being sold at 10 rupee, and this is being sold at 30. Now, from this competitor analysis, what we have found that our product is better than product A, but it is not as good as product C, which means our product should lie between these two, more than 10 but less than 30. So let's say our product would be, in this case, the we can price it at 20. Now this is something which we usually take into consideration uh, when we use the pricing model based on the competitors. Now there can be one more thing, in case the product is homogeneous. Sorry. Then in that case, this entire analysis would not have greater impact, but we'll take the price into consideration. So I have like one story to share with you. How so? Since we were working on a case competition where we were supposed to find out the pricing model for a specific for air ambulance. Now we were very new, so we somehow figure out how do we actually work on the pricing. So these were the three models that we figured out. We were working at the very early stages. Now for the competitor based pricing, we were trying to figure out what is the prices which is being charged by the competitors, and we were unable to find that because every single time when we tried to look for one of the documents or the research, it was mostly paid. So what we did, we actually booked an air ambulance. So in that air ambulance, we actually asked the service provider that we need to shift a guy from Delhi to Mumbai. So we what would be the essential charges, and they just let us know that it is 1,50,000 for every single hour, as far as I remember. And after that, once we got the price, we work on that case accordingly. But later, after once we booked that air ambulance, we got some of the follow-ups from the service provider. uh, so it is one of the case. So sometimes when you work on the cases, you can go out of the box in order to research. But in this case, since we were running very short on time, we were unable to get any research paper, so we did this. Now, moving forward, let's say the other possibilities could be what is the how the company is trying to position its product as a premium or the economy. Now, in this case, one if the company has positioned its product as premium, they'll charge a higher price, and if it is economical, then it will be on a lower end. Now, there is one more example that I wanted to share. Uh, in this case, let's say we have to. There is two more things in this. Number one is the multiple model, and the second one is the from similar service. Okay, how do we price the product? And in the multiple model, what we do now, let's say what we are trying to figure out in this case. Now let's say there is a product. Let's say a snack. Let's say a snack which is being sold at the normal places at 20. Let's say samosa. It is priced at 20 at any random place. But the same samosa would cost on a higher end. Let's say it will be 35 or let's say 40. Now we can observe that there is a 2x multiplier in this snack. Now let's say if a company wants to uh, now let's say if you have to price a grilled sandwich, so outside it is priced at 60. So in the airport it would have cost 120 because the multiplier is 2x. Now this is something which you take into consideration. Well, you try to price the product. So it is the premium thing. And from the similar service, now let's say, so there is from similar service is the second point that I was talking about. Let's say we are working on the as I have given one of the example in the snack only. Now let's say we can do one more thing instead of comparing it with the what is the price at the normal or the outside. We can do one thing. We can just find out in what is the premium in the product side in the airport only. Now, considering what the premium is, we will try to multiply that, and then we'll try to find out the final price. Then, moving forward, we have the company's vision. What is the company's vision as? Now, let's say whether they want the profit margins or they want the market share. Now, let's say if the company wants to have increase the profit margins. Now in this case, what they can do, they can increase the prices, or if they want to gain the market share, they can reduce the prices. So depending upon what the company wants to do, they can position their product and price their product accordingly. Now let's say I can give you one more example of the comparative analysis so that you can get a better idea what I'm talking about. Now let's say uh, we got there can be one more possibility. Let's say we need to find out. Let's say the motive of the company, the objective of the company is to make profit only. The primary motive is to profit. Is to make profit. So it is like the price that they'll be charging times the volume, the number of goods that they'll be selling. Now, in this case, let's say, as we have discussed in this case, let's say cost based and the competitor based models of all. Now, let's say according to the cost, we get the price of 20. From the competitors, we get a number of, um, let's say 30. And from value based, we get a price of 40. But when we price our product at 20, we get a sale of 100. When the price is 30, we get 70, and when it is 40, the volume goes down as uh, 40. Now in this case, the revenue that we will be generating would be different. In this case it is 2000. In this case it is 2100, and in this case it is 1600. So after all this analysis, the company should go with this. So we there can be cases that you'll be doing a comparative analysis, and then you'll recommend something like in this case. Moving forward to the okay, so I have just explained how do we price our product according to the competitors. Moving forward to the value based pricing. Now in value based pricing, what we try to find out the what is the value proposition of the product, and what is the consumer willingness to pay. For example, in the air ambulance example only, although the price which was quoted by the XYZ agency, it was 1,50,000. But in this case scenario, there can be a scenario where whosoever is booking that service is even ready to pay 2,50,000 or 3 lakh for the same service. So in value-based pricing, we try to understand about what is the consumer willingness to pay for a specific product. Now, there can be one of the recent example could be the Taylor Swift concert, or the um, Justin Bieber concert, where people spend like 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs, uh, just for a ticket, because it was like a lifetime or a one-time moment for them. So this was a value proposition that that they were getting, and they were even ready to pay a premium for the same. So in value-based pricing, we try to understand about what is the consumer willingness to pay for a specific product or service. So these are the three things that we take into consideration while we try to price our product. Yeah, I just explained. Now so I've just explained this with again with a real life example, that the different types of brands offering the different types of biscuits, and they have the different types of weights and the different prices, because let's say the plastic wraps and the pouch, or what are the different discounts which they take into consideration. Additionally, if you take a look this example, the Oreo and the Unipic one, their price is highest in the entire analysis, The one could be, the reason would be they are specifically in the urban area, whereas where the people are ready to spend more. Whereas in this case, they are available in the pan India, so they have their network in rural as well as the urban. So in this case, they have priced their product according considering the rural urban division as well. I have also taken the discount factor into consideration. So Parleji do not offer any discount, and the price here is adjusted with the discount, I guess, and there is one buy one get one free, so it is not adjusted actually. Now it is not the current offer, but I have just added this for the sake of explaining. So we took the what is the offer or the discount which is being offered by our competitor as well, in order to find out what is the price at which we can offer the same product to our customers. Okay, so that's it for the pricing thing. Now, moving ahead to the conclusion, how do we actually conclude a case? So, in concluding a case, we need to address a few things. For example, before concluding, we should ask what is the company doing for right now. Okay, it is not related to this. So so this concluding case is in reference to all the cases that we have done so far. So we should try to understand what is the current context, like how the company is dealing with the specific problem right now, so that we can frame our answers accordingly while we are recommending them. Then what is the lead with the answer thing? So what I meant by lead with the answer, uh, okay, so there can be two possibilities. Number one, that you say company yes or no कि ये करना चाहिए, and then you explain why you should do the same. And there is a second approach where you explain everything, your entire analysis, that these were my findings. So the answer is yes. So lead with the answer. So I prefer this one, and it is was even recommended by one of my seniors at SRCC. Okay, rooted in analysis. So what in this case, what we will be doing? Let's say we are working on a case. So what we can do, we should be stick to the our entire analysis, and then you can uh, relate or rely on your personal background in order to add some of the value to the to the recommendation and while concluding the case. But your entire recommendation should be based on the recommendation first. You can. This is one of the things that you can do, is you can structure your answer in a 2 by 2 matrix. For example, you can actually do one thing. You can uh, you can create a 2 by 2 matrix, and then you can try to explain about the core or the peripheral. I've just taken this one as one of the example from the previous from the previous session, where I explained about the core benefit or the peripheral thing in the profitability case. So what would be the short-term implication or the long-term? Now it is not exhaustive. There can be multiple matrices that you can make while working on the different cases. Now you try to, once you present this in a matrix form, so in case it is possible to explain whatsoever your analysis is, or whatsoever you wanted to whatsoever you wanted to explain in a form of matrix, then it actually ensures a comprehensive and balanced recommendation. Contrast, add a caveat. Okay. Now let's say there is a case which has been given to you, and after the entire analysis, you are giving some sort of recommendation. But you can also mention that, let's say there is a research project in which it would have take 6 to 7 months, but since you are working on that case, you can say that I have done these things, and further analysis could be done in these things. So you can actually recommend that we can research around these areas as well in order to reach to a better solution or a better point. And the tone and delivery, so be clear, confident, precise, and try to avoid the technical jargons. And that's it. You're good to go. Then, what are the troubleshooting measures that you can take? Now, let's say you're working on a case and you are stuck at a point. Now, what is the thing that you can do? So you can first of all be not should not be very nervous, or you should not lose your mind. You should be very clear, and you should not worry much about the case. So first of all, try to segment the data using relevant information again, so that you can gain some of the insights that you might have missed earlier. Secondly, now let's say there is a case in which you are not very clear. Now, what you can do, you can process map that thing again. So you can even ask the interviewer about the process mapping and try to identify what is the gaps that you have missed, and then try to solve the case further. Then you can trend or benchmark analysis कर सकते हो. Basically, you'll try to what you should do. You should so far the analysis is you can just benchmark it with your previous performance or the competitor or the industry, as the case may be. And this is very mini synthesis. So I in the very first session I explained about the mini summaries. So in the mini summaries, what we do, we try to it is at 15 to 20 second summary where you explain the interviewer what you have done so far and what you are planning to do further. So it helps the interviewer to keep the interviewer again engaged. Additionally, you and the interview both are on the same page. And then what is the you try to revisit the objective. For example, in most of the some cases, what happens? Let's say you are working on a case, and while working on the case, what happens? The objective is your analysis deviates from the objective. Now, let's say the objective could be, let's say a company wants to um, hire and expand its operation and start its facility in rural India. Because, and what is the objective of the company? The objective of the company is that they want to provide employment to the rural Indian people. And after the analysis, and you are deviated from this uh, employment wala part to your deviated loss to the cost analysis part. Keep that the cost will be on a lower end, so on and so forth. So sometimes what happens when you are working on the case, you just go with the flow, and sometimes you may uh, lose the objective of the case. So in these cases, what you can do, you can revisit the objective and then work on your analysis accordingly. Thank you so much for joining again. It is going to be the second last session. Uh, Thank you for joining. In case you guys have any doubts, you can ask me in the chat box. I'll be happy to take that up. We will let you know in the group itself. Most probably it will be on at 7. We are planning at 7, but we need to confirm it with the speaker. How can you explain the diagram you draw for last point of competitor pricing? Uh, which diagram? A second. Just let me revisit that. I don't get the point. Sri Joshi, I couldn't get your question. What diagram you are referring to? Are you talking about that table that I made and then did the analysis that our product is better than A but not as good as C? So we came to the conclusion that our product should be priced at a price higher than A but less than C. Are you referring to that? Isn't cost based pricing very risky? I don't think so. It's risky, but considering the fact that the cost based pricing are mostly on a lower end, I would say, in comparison to all these. The best thing could uh, be the value based or the competitor, but it varies from cases to cases. Considering the cost factor, how is it risky? I couldn't get the point. I don't think it is risky. What you do after that? I guess I need to revisit that again. I couldn't actually remember what are you referring to. Are you talking about this one? If a competitor gets a better product at a value-based price, we are forced to reduce our price, our break even. Yeah, it is the case, but it depends on other factors as well. That how are we going to position our product in the market, and there can be possibilities that our product cost and the revenue could be different. So we'll try to figure out what could be the possible solutions. Can you recommend some? Actually, for case competitions, I would do not say there is specific book that you should refer to. For preparing for these case interviews, there are like different case books that you can refer to. But for case competitions, you need to start on your own and do some sort of research on your own and try to find out the solutions accordingly. Any other questions that we have in the chat box? Uh, yeah, even in FMS casebook is actually very friendly. Even I refer to FMS casebook when I started. Okay, same for I'm Lucknow. Yeah, there is a casebook by SRCC Case Compendium. It is great as well. Additionally, there is a book called Case in Point. It was made by, I guess, I'm the alumni, if I'm not wrong. So Case in Point, then SRCC Case Compendium are very good. Where can we learn? I mean, you making some sort of PPTs is something that you learn by doing yourself. So when I started, I participating in case competitions. Even I don't used to get shortlist because I was not that good at presentation. But I eventually improved my presentation, and then I was able to made it to every single competition. Could you please share the case compendium? Yeah, I'll share all the case books that I have with you. Any other doubts specific to this session? I'll I'll be happy to take that up. Could you share those? Okay. Okay, so I guess we can end this session. Thank you for joining us today again. We'll look forward to the upcoming sessions. So tomorrow we will be having a session with Shreyanshi. She is a management consultant at Accenture. Thanks, brother. Really appreciate your efforts. Thank you so much for your kind words. Okay, thank you so much for joining. I'll be ending the stream. Thank you for joining.